Right. So good day, everyone. So last meeting, we have discussed all of the fundamentals of research. We have discussed the various characteristics and importances of quantitative research. So for this one, we will be discussing how to state the research problem and the research questions. Let us begin. So when we say the research problem, this is also known as the research puzzle, or what is known as the problematic. So this is the very problem or the very question that will guide our entire study. And this is the very problem that we will have to look for solutions to. Okay, if this is a research question, then this is the main question that we should look answers for now whenever we gather our data. So another definition for the research problem is this is the formal articulation of a specific topic which is addressed throughout the entire study. Okay, so this is the complete and specified research topic that will serve as the very core of your study. Now, we have mentioned last time that the research topic is very important in your study because everything around it will revolve, including the research questions, as well as the methodology and the research instrument that you will use. Now, your job as researchers, you need to problematize the chosen topic. And you need to identify these three. You need to identify what the specific situation is in your chosen research problem. You also need to identify the problem, not the problem per se, the problem that is being expressed. And you also must identify the issue that you want to focus on in your chosen research problem. Now, when you construct your research problem, you choose from two of its chosen formats. Okay, so you can write your research problem in an interrogative format. Of course, now if you're going to use this format, you have to write your research problem in a question format, or you can use the declarative format. If you're going to use a declarative format, expect that you have to write your research problem in a declarative manner. Okay. So let us proceed with the research questions. So when we say the research questions, these are specific inquiries. These are the ones that we really need to find answers to. Okay, so we have here the main research problem or the main issue of your study. So we must break that down into specific research questions. And these questions, these are the ones that we need to answer in our study. And also the research questions are as important as the research topic. Why? Because they are the ones providing a clear direction for the study. Now we have mentioned, right, that in our study, the research problem will be the main focus. Okay, everything around it, everything around in the study will revolve around the research problem. Okay. Now, the ones who will serve as a guide for our entire study will be the research questions itself. Okay. And it's also mentioned in the third definition, the research questions will serve as the very core of the study. Okay, these will serve as a guide to everything that we will use and construct in our paper. And these research questions, they are also known as sub-questions. So when we say sub-questions, now these are derived from the main research question or from the main research problem of the study. So these are examples of research questions. So take a good look at this, okay? Because when you construct your research questions, it should look like this, okay? So don't forget, you construct first or you establish first your main research problem. And then afterwards, you have to divide your research problem into various research questions. Okay. Now, why are research questions the core of the study? We have mentioned that it serves as the very core, or it will serve as a guide for the entire study. So let us try to understand it further. Okay, so first and foremost, the research questions will guide the establishment of the literature review. If you remember what the literature review is, this is the so-called RRL, and RRS, the related literature and the related studies. When you start constructing your literature review, you don't just look for any citation or any reference about your study. You have to go back and you have to consult your research questions because they will serve as the guide on what citations to look for in your literature review. Another one is the research questions also lead the researchers to the appropriate research design to be used. So if you remember from your previous research lessons before, the research design is part of the methodology of your paper. And this is also important because it will determine how you're going to go to gather your data as well as how you're going to process the data. Now, one critical aspect of the methodology is you have to figure out what research design you're going to use for your paper. Now, one way in choosing the research design for your paper is you need to go back again, you need to consult again your research questions. Because based on the research questions, as well as the research problem, you will determine from those what research design you're going to use. Whether it be descriptive, whether it be correlational or causal comparative, or even experimental. Now, the third one is it also directs what to collect and from whom should it be collected. If you will read your research questions, if you go back to it, you will determine from there what kind of data you should collect for your study. And the research questions will also determine who will be the respondents, from whom it should be collected. So for the fourth one, the research data is important in analyzing and presenting the data. So let's say once you already have your data, once you have already processed it, now the research questions will serve as a guide on how you are going to present your data. Also, the research questions will guide you on what statistical process you're going to use for the data processing, whether it be mean score, or whether you're going to use ANOVA. That will be determined by your research questions. And the last one, the research questions provide a clear sense of what the study is about and what it wishes to achieve. In critiquing papers, we always have this core question or basic question. We always ask the researchers, what is your study about? What does your study wish to achieve? So if you want to be prepared for those questions during the defense, you have to go back again to your research questions because your research questions will determine those. So under research questions, still we have three types. We have descriptive, we have comparative, and we have relational questions. Let us tackle them one by one. So we have first descriptive research questions from the root word describe. So when we say descriptive research question, it gives an objective description of the particular characteristics of a person, a group, institution, or phenomenon. Or in other words, now if you're going to construct a descriptive research question, you are just constructing a question that will ask for the objective descriptions of the variables in your study. One example of descriptive research questions, demographic profile. So let's say if you're going to ask for the demographic profile of your respondents, age, biological sex, those are considered as descriptive research questions. On your left, you have there other samples of descriptive research questions. You will encounter these kinds of questions if the study that you're going to do is a descriptive study. So next, we have here the comparative research question from the root word compare. So here, now once you construct this question, you are comparing two or more characteristics of two or more persons, groups, institutions, or phenomena. So in other words, now when you construct these kinds of questions, you're looking for a comparison between the variables in your study. So take a look on the right, you have there a sample comparative research question. And the last one, we have here relational research question from the root word relation or relations. So this kind of question seeks to understand the relationship between two or more aspects of one or more persons, groups, institutions, or phenomena. Okay, so for this kind of research question, what we are looking for is relations between the two variables no, in your study. Or in other words, we are looking for what we call the significant relationship no, of the variables in your study. Now, for relational research questions to work, now your variables or the aspects in your study should be quantifiable. It should be measurable in numbers. Otherwise, this will prove difficult in your study. Now, aside from the relationship ng mga anak, in this kind of research question, you can also look for the association between the variables, the interaction between the variables, or even the causation between the variables. So take a look at the questions on the right. Again, we have their sample relational research questions. So when you construct these kinds of questions, it should look something like this. Now we have here a simple process of developing research questions. Okay, so first and foremost, you have to first identify a broad topic or a broad area that you are interested in. Okay, so you take first a broad topic. This can be a keyword or even a phrase that refers to the broad topic that you want to make a study on. Once you have that broad topic, you have to select a specific research problem you want to investigate under that topic area. Okay, so we have here a broad topic. So once you have that broad topic, you have to specify it further. Specify it further up until you have reached a specific and complete problem where you can focus your study. Okay. Now, once you have there your specified research problem, you can narrow it down. Now, you can transcribe it in a single main research question to serve as your guide. And then once you have your main research question, you can further break down that main research question into sub-questions. Okay, so you have here the first main question, and then you can further divide it. Now you can, let's say you can ask for the demographic profile of the respondents. Afterwards, you can search if there is a significant relationship. And then afterwards, if there is a hypothesis, you can see if the hypothesis is accepted or not. Okay. Now, take a look at this, okay? Because this is very important. When you construct your statement of the problem, it should look something like this. Okay, and by the way, no, this is from Sehun Yuxelier of 2020. This is from a study from last year. Okay, I'm not saying that your statement of the problem should look exactly like this. Okay, it should only look something like this. So you can use this as a guide, or as a format rather, when you construct your own statement of the problem. Okay, so we have here first the statement of the complete and specified research problem at the top. And then at the bottom, we have here the research questions that are derived from the research problem. And these research questions, this will serve as the guide for the entire study. Right? So, if you have any questions, mga anak, you can reach me through my email address, or you can reach me through our class group chat or in our Google Classroom. Thank you so much for joining us in this video, and I will see you in the next one.